Welcome to 2021. It's like the end of January, and we finally have a new video coming out. You've been watching old videos for a while. But anyways, today's video we're going to do has to do with our incubators. You can see this incubator over here. I kind of took it apart so you'll be able to look at it, and then we're going to put it back together. So this is our big little incubator, okay? This is what we incubate all of our colubrids in. On the other side of that wall over there is an in-room incubator where you've seen it before probably, where we keep all of our ball python eggs, and actually our green tree eggs go in there too. But that's an office over there that we converted. And if you want to put in the comments below, if you want to see that one more, then we will show that one again and show what we did in there. But this is our big little incubator. This is our smaller incubator, and I'm going to show you what we did with these. We even had a smaller one than this, but I sold that one. It was just like this, it was about half size. So the principles are the same. So let's get into this one. This is just, as you can see, Pepsi machine, that somebody couldn't use anymore. Actually, it was in a saltwater shop where they kept food in there for saltwater fish and stuff like that is what they were doing. So I bought this. It wasn't really being used. You can see, if we come around to the dusty back of it, everything is still intact as if it was a regular cooler. It could actually be plugged in and used, I think, but we just don't use it as a cooler. So everything's still there. If you wanted to make it lighter, you could take all of that out because it's not needed. But if you do, you have to be careful because you have freon and stuff in here. And if you release that into the atmosphere, it's bad. And so you'd have to have a way to recover that properly. So I just leave it in. But over here, we open the door. And let's see. Where's my assistant? I need an assistant. Oh, Summer. Why don't you come here real quick? Just hold that door for me so I don't hit it on my head too many times. So like I said, everything's still in here. I don't use any of this part, although you could. You could easily wire the fan to run, but I decided on this one not to do that. And then on the bottom, what I do, we'll take out this insulation. I just put a big 12-inch piece of heat tape down here on the bottom, and then I run it up to the fan, and I'll show you the fan. That's a Vivarium Electronics fan there. And what I do is I put this back in here. I think I missed where I wanted to put it. I use just this insulation here. I push this one to the back, except it's not going back. What did I do wrong? So I try to keep it at an angle. And then there we go. And then I have this other one. So what happens is this comes all the way to the front. So when this door closes, it seals this off here. Because I really don't want too much heat coming up from here. So we just make a little bit of a gap there for the air to come down. So because heat rises, this sits in the bottom. It hits that I have in there on an angle like this. The heat comes up, hits the bottom of that pad, goes up to my fan, and then the fan blows it up to the top, and through natural cooling it'll run back down the front of this plate here, back down to the heat, and then it just keeps doing a circular type motion. And then that fan will run all the time. It's adjustable. We'll have a link on the website eventually that you'll be able to see what we're buying to use for that. And then I always take the thermometer wire, I bring it up to about the middle, and then I'll set this between where the eggs are. Then that's what monitors the thermometer on that. And then this one uses the Vivarium Electronics VE3000. Some people might think it's overkill, but it's a proportional thermostat. It has everything it needs. And so that's the one I use on all my incubators. Well, on this size incubator anyway. So, and then you can just drill a hole through the back. Run all your wires on the inside through the back, and that way you have no wires coming out the front or anything like that. So that's how that incubator works. And when we get in a pinch, when we have overflow, that's what's get used. So that's all for that incubator. All right, so now to the other incubator here. This is we called this the Big Little Incubator. This is what we use for all of our colubrid eggs. And believe it or not, that thing gets full. I mean, we fill it. Right, Summer? We'll fill that this year again.
Yeah, overflow.
Overflow, probably. So what it is this is a freezer. I believe this one was a freezer from a convenience store that didn't need it anymore because it broke. So you can buy these things off, whether it's eBay, Craigslist, whatever. You can find these things cheap when they're broken because they cost so much to fix. So let's see, what should we show on this? I mean, it's a two-door. You can see the two doors on it. It's a cool two-door glass front fridge. It's all insulated and everything, so it's really perfect for using it for what we want to do. We took the grill off of the front. I don't know, I think we broke it or something, or it's all dented up. We didn't put it back on. So it'd look cool if you still had the grill on there, but we don't have that. But what I want to show you is how we turn this into an incubator. So we'll come to the thermostat last, but no, let's talk about it now. So come over here to the side. This is a helix control incubator type thermostat. This is for over 1500 watt thermostat. They don't make them anymore as far as I know. These things are like gold if you can find them. They work super good. They have the adjustments on them so you can adjust that within 1/10 of a degree, and that's why I keep it for my incubators. I have a spare one this is part of the unit here. So you have this unit, so it's kind of big, but it's got the cooling things on it. You can also plug a phone thing into it so it'll call you if your temperatures if your temperatures go too high or too low, it'll alert you so you know. So that's a nice little module that I have on there. This one doesn't have it, but the other incubator does when I remember to plug it in. So that's the thermostat we use on this one. But you could use any thermostat that's available out there if it's proportional. You want a proportional type thermostat. You don't want one that's just either on 100% or off. It's better that it just puts out a little bit constant temperature juice all the time to your heating elements. So let's look in here. So this here is what comes in when you take all these panels out, and they'll show it to you when we're back, when I put it back together. But these go in, it looks all pretty, and then you've got the air that'll go back through these. But I wanted to show you how we did the inside. So if you open one of these up, you'll see it has the fans in here that circulate the air, and then this opens really easy. You can lift this all up, and then those are all the cooling coils for this thing being a freezer and staying cold. So what we did, put that back down, we ran our wires through the thermostat. I run this wire in. Maybe you should come over here. So we run the power into here. I go in through the power box there, and inside here is also where the cooling fan wiring is. So I was able to hook the cooling fans. If we go back inside, we're able to take these wires that go back out into that box out front. We're able to hook up these cooling fans into the thermostat. So to heat this in here, originally I put, what is this? This is cheating. This was just a heat panel that we had from an extra rack. And so we put that in there as our heating element. And then we decided we needed a little bit more heat. So in comes our heat tape. 12-inch heat tape. And what I do is I take this and I put it underneath the coils. Just like that. So that sits underneath the coils inside here. So I got 12 inches, about, I don't know, 40 inches long there of the heat mat. put that underneath there, and that sits underneath these coils. So when this turns on now, it actually slowly heats up these coils, which helps it retain heat. And then I didn't have to take that out because that's not usable space we could use in the incubator anyway. And then again, it runs through these fans. Put that in there, run your wires out. This closes back up, except I have to move it. I didn't put that in the right spot. Put this back here just a little bit more for right now. Put that in. That allows these fans to spin freely whenever the thermostat turns on. Then, it, like I said, it runs those wires out. If you look over here, you've got all this access over here. You just push your wires in through there, it comes out to your switch. So pretty much that's how this works. And when these fans turn on, they actually turn on and they blow the air down there through those coils and up through this back, because that's what it did when it was a freezer. So it goes through the back and then it comes out all these holes. As you can see, the holes go all the way up, and that's what allows the heat to come out. And then, like the smaller incubator, when you end up putting all of these back in place, the cool air comes back down to here. So let's put this back together, and I'll show you how we end up finishing this off. So let's see here. We can put this back together right. It's kind of a pain. And we ran our thermostat wire up in between the middle of those also, because we ran that. It goes from the thermostat on the side. We ran it down, had it come in, come up over there. And then we just have it come up in between everything, and we let it hang right there in the middle to get our temperatures we need. And then, because it does get warm in the bottom there because we've got heat down there, we decided to put, what is that, 1.5 inch insulation in there. So we're going to put that on the bottom before we put in the rest of this. So put this back in like that. So then we get that in there, and that gives us that extra insulation, because we don't put anything right on top of that. So then we take our other shelf and put our other shelves down here at the bottom. So we get these in all the way down. Right? Then we push that back into place. And then, so that's where our first shelf goes. And then we put this back in. And there we go. So then our first eggs sit here, which gives it that barrier plus this insulation barrier, and then the heat comes in through the back, comes up through this whole thing. So pretty much that's how this one works. And they're pretty cool. I mean, you can even turn the light on inside if you want. I don't have it hooked up, but you can hook it up if you want. So you can have the lights. And then, like I said, everything comes through here. You set your temperature over here. I have it set so I can see daytime highs and lows. Hopefully you don't have that problem, but you can always go back and check. So we come in and check it. I don't know. I check it maybe only once a week. I should probably check it more just to make sure it's not varying too much. But that's how you build an incubator on the cheap, let's say. These things are not that expensive, and they hold a lot of eggs. I mean, we get, how many clutches of eggs do we get in there?
Probably at least 100.
At least 100 clutches?
Probably.
So depending on the size of your eggs, it'll take up a lot of space. But I'll put links on the video eventually of the thermostats that you can use, how to put the heat tape together, all the stuff that's required for that. And you should look for these in the classifieds, like I said, eBay, Craigslist, things like that, because they're really not that expensive. And to make them into an incubator is really inexpensive too. It's not too bad. So that's our incubator. We've been happy with it. It's done a great job for us. I mean, I bet we don't have $800 or so into this thing. Even with everything, I don't think it's even that much. The hardest part was picking this up. It's really heavy because it has all the coils and everything in it, so we didn't let any of the Freon or any of that stuff out of this one either. We just bought it the way it was. All right, so that's how the incubator gets put back together. We got all that done, but let's plug it in and take a look of how it runs. So let's open up this real quick. We'll lift this up, take this piece out. We'll, oh, look at that. Someone's getting the power. Wait, come over here. Okay. Yep, go ahead, give it power. Got power. Up here we got the thermostat that's going to come up. It's 74.8 degrees in here right now. The light just went on. It's giving it power. And you can come over here. You probably can hear it. What's going on? So that fan, wow, feel that air go down there. You can really feel the air going through there. You see how that fan's running? So we only run that fan when there's power. You could run it all the time, but we decided to only run it when the heat panel's actually on. So that's how that goes. And we just put this panel back in on top, but we wanted to show you how it works. Put this back down in there. Well, it'll probably take a little bit to get it back in. There we go. Put our panel back, and that's how it runs. So we always hear the incubator running because you can hear it makes noise. So we know during the day it's cycling and doing its thing. And then, again, the thermostat controls it all, and that keeps it going. As a side note to the incubator, I have a few parts here. So this is the THG heat. Really the best heat panel stuff, tape. Whatever you want to call it, that's out there. It works really well. It has the best connectors. So you got the connectors there. Woo! Okay, use the connectors. Use a crimping tool. You crimp this stuff on there, on these outer lines, the conductive lines, with the connectors there. Just clamp it on. Then you have your Vivarium Electronics incubator fan. So that's what we use for the incubator fan. And then you have your cord. So those rivets that are in here just go on top of those, and you use your crimping tool and put them on, and then you put some of your electrical tape over the ends, and that's what makes that thing charge. And that's what we use along with, we showed you that the incubator, the thermostat we use on that is in fact corrected to a Vivarium Electronics 300. So it's the VE300 that we use on that. But this is what the stuff looks like. We sell it by the foot. So you can order it here. You can order these here. You can also use a computer fan if you know how to wire computer fans. You just need a really good fan that'll circulate the air in there consistently. So that's our incubator video for today. If you want more information, you're welcome to put the comments below. We'll tell you how it's done. We'll put descriptions in the bottom for all of the products that we use. Check Craigslist, check eBay. That's where you get the stuff at a good price. And make sure you give us a thumbs up on the video if you liked it, if it's informative and gives you the information you need. We'll keep giving you more videos, all right? See you later.